Using an AI button. All assets are placeholders. Time to.
Oh boy, I really didn't actually think that the time troop video was gonna get as big as it did. So that is a huge mistake on my part. I kind of made it half as a joke and half seriously because I knew that my audience was small and niche. But here we are. I have to make this follow up as much as I really don't want to because oh boy, that response video was something. Making this new script actually made me start completely blanking out at my desk while I typed it. I genuinely could not think. My brain was so fuzzy. So, as you might know, Lenlen did actually make a response to my video with new gameplay in it. Wow! Who knew that the only way to get more Time Troop development updates was to make a 30-minute long call-out video forcing Lenlen to show something to prove his project isn't a scam? This video is off to a really awkward start. As far as I know, this is also an AI voice. Good job at making the project sound disingenuous, and apparently a lot of people have been accusing most of the script of being AI, not without reason, which is actually the laziest thing ever. Were you not able to refute this on your own? Are you actually completely incapable of making a normal response that you had to ask ChatGPT to put it together for you? That's just not even... Whatever. But starting off, let's try to go through his claims in order. The biggest issue seems to be how I'm not putting things in context, to the point that he even DM'd me about it. Now, before I start going through everything in the video, I will actually state yes, the UGC games do actually pay out items. The issue comes from the fact that they're lazily asset flip-flop designed to keep children in the game, especially premium users, to get money, but that's besides the point. Because I will clear that up since Lenlen wanted me to, I guess. That those are not technically scams, but I'm still very disapproving of them. That's the only thing positive that we're gonna be mentioning here.
Even though the voluntary work was publicly described as unpaid, the video still raises the question of why the team members were not paid.
Yeah, it's a valid question and criticism considering you are still making money off the game and running a Patreon. You are profiting still off of other people's work. I don't care if you said the project's unpaid, why are you the only person getting profit from it? Oh, and let's not forget about the quote-unquote programmers that you claim to be paying. Actually, no, you did forget that because they were never mentioned.
The development work that had already been shown publicly is mentioned in the video, but it plays almost no role in the accusations that follow.
I'm genuinely, unable to tell what this is supposed to mean. The script is not straightforward in the slightest. I've actually been unable to wrap my head around this one. I haven't had breakfast today. I think I'm losing it. What is this supposed to mean? The footage I show in my video is somewhat relevant because 1, it is the only footage of Time Troop there is. 2, I'm going to show footage of the project I'm talking about in the video about that thing. And 3, it's important to show people the subject of the video so they can form their own opinions.
Based on the development status at the time, the project was far along in many areas. That is why I described it as nearly finished.
Yeah, why call it nearly finished if it's been that way for 2 years now?
The models shown in older Time Troop footage were placeholders used during development. This was also communicated at the time.
No, it wasn't? It literally wasn't. These disclaimers were tacked onto the video titles after the project started receiving public scrutiny. I literally have proof that the titles were not like this beforehand. This is actually a completely bold-faced lie. I cannot imagine trying to pull something like that considering I showed proof in my initial video already. You cannot be serious.
Some of the placeholder models originally came from official Skylanders games. According to Aqua himself, he made some of these model files from the games available. The video criticizes the fact that these particular models were neither created or purchased by me.
That is exactly why they were only intended as placeholders, and were supposed to be replaced before a final release.
Was your AI script, like, actually unable to keep my gender straight? It's really not that hard, considering it's, like, on everything, including my YouTube channel. Sorry, back to the main point. This was just slightly infuriating to me. Only intended as placeholders. The models are only intended as placeholders. The issue that you're still profiting off of. You're still making money on this. That's the issue. That is my big issue. You're making money off of stuff you don't own, and you won't credit the person who did the hard work.
Another criticism is that people contributed to Time Troop without being paid using Patreon funds. Time Troop was not presented as a normal, paid development studio. It was a community project, rather than a conventional professional studio. Most contributors worked on smaller individual parts, instead of acting as full-time developers. The public FAQ clearly stated that community contributions were unpaid. It said, "Will I get money for working on the team? No, you will not get any money for working. However, you can have a say in many decisions and let your own creativity flow into them."
Aqua correctly mentions this FAQ in his video,
but still strongly questions why the volunteer contributors were not paid. The FAQ shows that these roles had been publicly described as unpaid from the beginning. This arrangement can be criticized. However, it was publicly known, and participation was voluntary and unpaid.
Getting my gender wrong again aside, this is almost an entire minute of just saying the same thing over and over again. Let's quickly get to the main point here. I have publicly said it was all unpaid. Then why are you the only person getting money from this project with your Patreon that you have no proof of using for the project at all? You're profiting off of others' work and trying to justify it. Let's just put this in easy perspective mode here. You are a normal dude, and you get hired to work on a thing. Let's just say it's a big art project under someone, the boss. And the boss goes, "This is unpaid work," before you work on it. And you agree, because you love art and want to do this big art project. You finish your work, you turn it into the boss, and the boss goes and shows it big and publicly. And the boss starts getting money for the work you just did, and you get nothing. Well, that's unfair. I said it was unpaid, didn't I?
The Patreon was intended to help cover part of the project's development costs, including 3D models purchased for the project. The use of AI was mainly used for video production, and only to a limited extent in the actual project. An early AI-generated voice was used because there was no voice actor available at the time. The technology was much worse back then, which is why it may sound unusual today. AI was also used to create rough prototypes for redesigns. These prototypes were not used directly in the game. They only served as starting points while older material was being reworked.
Okay, so we have a barrage of stuff to address here because the script really just doesn't take any breaks. First, the Patreon and development costs. Lenlen has claimed to have been using the Patreon to cover development costs, but has not shown us where any of these funds have gone. Again, I have to point to the notorious case of I'm hiring programmers. The AI voice is still shoddy, it makes their work seem cheap. I know you said there was no voice actor available at the time, but it isn't that hard to just read it out yourself. I read my scripts aloud, and I'm a horrible public speaker. I have to cut out a ton of stuttering and mumblated words. I end up completely fumbling. That rhymes. I'm not a confident speaker in the slightest. But as I do more videos, I've gotten more confident in the way that I carry my voice, and I'm getting experience with this kind of stuff. The more I work on this, the more I learn about doing this. I'm not hiring a voice actor at all. I've never even thought about using AI to read my scripts for me. This is coming from someone who's so self-conscious about how people perceive her that I wore a paper bag over my head in one of my videos. Drop the AI voice garbage. Also stop using generative AI, though that's probably hard to ask of somebody who's made Brain Rot Cart, or didn't even make it. It's probably an asset flip template of some sort.
Instead of addressing the limited use I had actually described, it was suggested that I could simply offload all of the work to AI and remove the need for human workers.
Oh my god, Lenlen's AI script actually said the thing. Remove the need for human workers, which is like very eerily similar to a line I jokingly wrote to sound like AI in my last video. There's no way. I wanted to like partially give him benefit of the doubt because there's no 100% way to tell if something's written by AI unless they outright say it. But the fact that it's something so close to what I wrote to sound like an AI is crazy, not to mention the editor he's clearly using is Opus Clip, which loves to put itself as the #1 AI video editing tool. Great going. To be transparent here, the software my editor uses is Shotcut, and I use an old version of CapCut before they started shoving generative AI and premium stuff everywhere.
Some commenters openly said that they had not previously known about Time Troop or the Skylanders fan game community. Shortly afterward, they still described the project as a confirmed scam and described me as a confirmed scammer. Many of these comments repeat the accusations without providing any evidence of their own.
Are you expecting everyone in the comments to just provide full paragraphs on how they feel about the situation? Are you going to ask everyone who liked my video for an explanation on why they liked it? Do you see how absurd this sounds? Okay, class, time to write your essay on why Time Troop's a scam. Get to the comments section and start writing your essay now. Do it.
This can still seriously harm the project. It shows how quickly accusations like these can spread when many viewers initially know only one side of the story.
One side of the story, right? Tell that to the numerous Time Troop developers who have found my video and left comments. There was no positive testimony from a single one of them. These were people supposedly on your side of the story, right? I was a previous developer. How can you possibly think we don't have both sides of the story? Sure, we didn't have your word just yet. That's plausible. We can just say that your side of the story was only specifically you and not the side that all of your developers were on. This video is great insight on your word, but you have some gall calling my accusations baseless. You can't possibly say I provided no evidence to my claims when I repeatedly showed the evidence to every single point I made in my initial video.
Skepticism is valid. However, assumptions should not be presented as proven facts. Assumptions should not be presented as proven facts.
Sorry, I have to keep coming back to update the script. Somebody posted a screenshot, right, that was, welcome to this server. The community will simply create the next Skylanders game itself. That's... So, and it's just not Skylanders anymore because he got called out for using the Skylanders IP to squeeze money out of people, and nobody's buying his response in the slightest, so now he has removed the name Skylanders from any Time Troop stuff. The channel is no longer called Skylanders Time Troop, it's just Time Troop Game. The server has been also changed to being called Time Troop Game. So it's just not gonna be... I don't even care anymore, dude. I just want to get this over with because I am genuinely... I had to make the response because his response to my video was genuinely infuriating to listen to. That was my phone. Whatever. Hey, if you've made it to the end of the video, I am actually looking for a programmer to work on a small Skylanders fan game project that I have been working on. I have made most of the assets, and I just don't know how to program. So if you know somebody, or if you are a programmer that wants to work on a Skylanders fan game, feel free to hit me up on Discord. It's not that hard to find me because I'm in Skylanders spaces all the time. This project is not paid. I will not be making money off of this project either because it is using the Skylanders IP.